Here to potentially answer some of those questions and discuss the impact of the Twitter shakeup is Lydia Moynihan. She is a Wall Street reporter for the New York Post. Good morning, Lydia. Thanks for waking up with us this morning.
Of course, it's great to be here.
Thank you. The world's richest man, now in charge of arguably the most influential social media outlet. What are the implications? How is he going to change it?
Like you said, he's a very unique buyer in that he's sort of untethered to any economic reality. And he's even said as much. He doesn't necessarily believe there's an economic model. He's doing it as sort of a public service. And everyone was shocked when Jeff Bezos spent $250 million to buy the Washington Post. Well, this is the world's biggest and most expensive and most modern digital newspaper. But the fact that he was able to swoop in and get this deal done really underscores the fact that there's been some longstanding issues with Twitter's business model and some biases. So Twitter, if you look at their ad revenue, it's basically 5.5 billion compared to TikTok. Their ad revenue is 11 billion. TikTok, of course, is a much bigger company. So Twitter's failed to monetize their product in a way that many other social media networks have. And the other piece, of course, is the bias. And this is something that Twitter's been criticized for a long time. President Donald Trump was kicked off after the January 6th riots, but yet the Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran continues to have a presence on Twitter, as does the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. So there's a lack of transparency about Twitter's content moderation, and that's something Elon Musk has been quite vocal about addressing. He wants to basically put that algorithm online so people can know exactly how Twitter's making decisions about censorship.
Okay, I want to get to that in just a moment, but I want to go back to what you just said previously. He is suggesting that users pay to use Twitter, right, and not see ads. And given this current media landscape we're in, do you think that's a model that will work?
You know, he has a lot of ideas, and the proof is in the pudding. I don't think anyone at this point really knows what that's going to look like. This has been something that's been under discussion for a long time. Do you pay people to use Twitter? Clearly, the ad revenue model that they've been following hasn't been nearly as effective as a lot of other companies have been at monetizing it. It's interesting, you know, Twitter basically IPO'd about 8.5 years ago at $41 a share. They're now at $51 a share. Juxtapose that with a company like Facebook, right, that opened at $38 less than a decade ago and is now trading at $187. So I think there's definitely a sense in which people are eager to try different revenue models. That revenue model specifically, it's just too soon to say whether that's effective. But again, Elon Musk is taking the company private, so he's not going to answer to shareholders the way that the board of directors has had to answer to shareholders heretofore.
Okay, and I want to go back into that point about kicking people off Twitter and the bias, the alleged bias. As of yesterday, Twitter's policy involved, claims about false claims about a stolen election, COVID misinformation, hate speech that could result in violence. Explain this free speech argument, because a company like Twitter is under no obligation to give anyone and everyone a platform to say whatever they want, just like we're not obligated to give someone in our living room or our own personal property a platform to say whatever they want.
Well, and this is going to be a really tough thing for Elon Musk. He says he wants freedom of speech. I think that's something most people in America believe in. He wants this to sort of be the bedrock of democracy, but there has to be an element of content moderation. You look at sort of just free-for-all sites like 8chan and 4chan where people can say whatever they want. That's the ultimate free speech. And normal people don't want to have an account on 8chan and 4chan because it's such a toxic sort of melange of people just throwing racist, bigoted things out there. So there has to be a piece of content moderation. And we have the biggest companies in the world, some of the smartest people in the world, you know, Meta's Facebook, a lot of these companies trying to find an answer to combating disinformation at the same time allowing people to express what they believe. And it's just it's a tough needle to thread. And when you have that much content, no one algorithm, I think, is going to be perfect. So he's thrown out a lot of ideas that people are willing to latch onto and easily resonate with. But again, implementing that is a totally different question. And some of the things he said, you know, he wants to crack down on bots. That's something Twitter management has been talking about for a long time. That's been a huge goal of theirs. They haven't found a solution. So it's, you know, unclear that Elon Musk will be able to find that solution. The other piece of this is interesting is, you know, he's taking it private. So most companies are very concerned about content moderation because they want advertisers to advertise with them. You don't see a lot of big companies advertising on 8chan or 4chan. But again, since this is private, he's going to be untethered to any economic reality. He's the world's richest man, and what he wants will probably go with Twitter.
All right. It remains to be seen. So many answers still to come. Lydia, thank you for helping us break it down.
So many unanswered questions.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.